So House of the Dragon Season 3 just finished, and I found it really disappointing. House of the Dragon Season 1 I found to be a surprising return to form after the disastrous Season 8, and Seasons 5 to 7 too, but that's a discussion for another day, with moments that equal peak Game of Thrones, and brought back my love for A Song of Ice and Fire. Season 2 was an unfinished mess, which we only just got a conclusion to with the first 2 episodes of this season, which I know Warner Brothers thought would make their financial situation look better for their Paramount buyout, but the only thing it ended up doing was kicking the can down the road. Remember, Season 2 was supposed to have 2 more episodes, which were moved to this season. So not only do they owe us 2 more episodes for this season, because they cut the season down from the typical 10 to 8, but 2 of those episodes are already owed to us from Season 2. So that's 4 episodes they owe us for this season. 4! And when they inevitably release Season 4 with 8 episodes, or God forbid 6, that will be at least 2 more they owe us for a total of 6 missing episodes. Why? Anyway, Season 3 premiered with a battle that was supposed to be ours last season. Ours, by right. And for a battle 8 episodes in the making, boy was it disappointing. No dragon seeds in the battle, half the episode was setting up the battle that you already took a whole season to build up. You know, I don't remember Watchers on the Wall needing to spend most of its runtime setting up the battle. Maybe if you didn't kick the can down the road in order to save money you're going to have to spend anyway, you wouldn't have had to do that. Suspicious. Jace is gone, no friendship with Kragan Stark, which will make the end of this series feel particularly awkward and out of nowhere, and no Pact of Ice and Fire. Baela was fine, I do like her well enough, but she had nothing to do the whole season except get in a soap opera level love triangle, which was more funny than anything else, and mope around her sister, who I don't even want to talk about. Her whole character is fucked. She has done nothing but cause grief the whole season, and because they combined her with a character they didn't want to include for some reason, she will probably end up getting a happy ending where she rides off into the sunset, which will feel particularly painful to see. So then we spend the whole season trudging along with most of the runtime taken up by boring conversations between one of the most inconsistent characters in the show and the most ruined woman in Game of Thrones since Daenerys. I loved Alicent in Season 1. Not only was she well written and well performed by Emily Carey and Olivia Cooke, who is, to her credit, still giving the best she can with the material she is given, as are most of the actors in the show, with one exception, but I also related to her plight of being punished for what she is told to do, while seeing those who disregard societal expectations succeed, rewarded for their debauchery. I wouldn't have had a problem with her having a fall arc where she decides to forsake her morals and play the same game, but what they've done to her is not that. They expect me to believe the same woman who threatened to cut out a child's eye because he did the same to her boy would rat out her own children countless of times and condemn them to death even when she is not prompted. She just ratted out Daeron, by her own admission the only good son she has left, despite having no reason to do so. She would poison her own son just to save Helaena, oh boy will I get to Helaena, even though a special bond between these two has never been established before. Otto is gone. Turns out all that build-up they did of him being captured was that he never even left the fucking castle. If you had just killed him at the end of Season 2, like you were supposed to, I might not have minded so much, but to introduce him only to kill him off is giving me serious Season 6 flashbacks. Ormond might have been interesting. If they decided to actually write stuff for him, you just make him a Saturday morning cartoon villain with no depth who will flip out and have a tantrum over a fucking game of chess. Cool. Then you kill him because, ew, Roddy's stinky. What the fuck was that? Sure, it was set up, and everyone saw this coming, but if what you're setting up is shit to begin with, guess what? You're gonna end up with shit. I suppose the beginning of Season 3 was set up to be bad, so I shouldn't complain that it ended up bad. It was set up, after all. Daeron was an immense letdown for me too. Not only does he not ride his dragon the whole season, but the one time you do see his dragon, they somehow manage to fuck it up. Her breath is meant to be blue, you Pringles packets. He also does not display any daring at all. Daeron the Daring? Why did you call him that, Ormond? What daring deeds has he done? Should have called him Daeron the Dormant for how long he spends standing around. This boy spends more time doing nothing than Sunfire did. And Sunfire was dead. What's your excuse? They start to claw my interest back slightly after it was revealed Daeron isn't a doormat subservient to Ormond, but in fact hates him, only to not pay this off at the end of the season. Ormond is dead. He can't stand up to him anymore. But they didn't show his body at the end, so at least he didn't die, right? Boy, I hope they pay this off in Season 4, which will release in 2 years at best. And I'm sure they wouldn't kill him off in Episode 1 of Season 4 after building him up these 2 years. They would never do that. Right? Then Aegon somehow pops up at Harrenhal without any trouble on the way, and where is Tyland? The man who stuck with you as you went in the jaws of death. The only man in your entire life who has ever shown you selfless sacrifice apart from your dragon. And Aemond is remorseful of what he has done to you? Why? This has been lampshaded at best. Sure, I'm excited to see Aegon and Aemond fighting side by side for the first time, atop Vhagar and Sunfire, but Daemon in Season 2 got a whole season to come to terms with his brother's memory and forgive him for his weakness, while Aemond only gets a few half-baked scenes with Alice Rivers? The character who has progressively gotten less interesting as the show went on? She was fascinating in Season 2, a mysterious witch whose motivations are strange and almost Lovecraftian, conduit of the old gods. And then you made her too human. She's just a person now. I like the lore they added in this episode, but it comes at the expense of her credibility as a dangerous character. If she can do this, then why can she not stop herself getting raped? And why does every single woman in a show have to be raped, even when it makes no sense? I get it, show. Men are evil and disgusting. You don't have to remind me every single episode. So after all this setup, we finally get to the battle that was promised. Does it deliver? Well, the siege is cool. I loved a lot of the tactics used in the battle. Oil, fire, ladders. It was a very dynamic battle, which is good. Shame it was over so quick. I can't believe it. They did it again. Spend half the episode setting it up, then deliver the bare minimum. The dragons were cool, as always, but why the fuck was only Caraxes fighting for most of it? Where was Vermithor? Where was Tessarion? Silverwing appeared at the end, which was nice, and I always love seeing the army cheer when their dragon appears. It makes a lot of sense they would do this, and this time around it makes it all the more tragic when Ulf ends up doing what he does. Yeah, speaking of Ulf, what the hell? You spend 7 episodes setting up his betrayal to Rhaenyra, which is fine. Then how long does it take for him to flip on Ormond too? Less than 1 episode. I get why he does it, and I think it makes sense. Nobody on any side has treated him well, so why should he show any loyalty to them? But this flip happened quicker than Daenerys burning King's Landing. Not to say, of course, this is worse than Season 8, it absolutely is not, but to literally show his turn with one evil look in the camera is certainly disappointing. Also, where are his scenes with Silverwing? Where are Hugh's scenes with Vermithor? Where are Daeron's scenes with Tessarion? Can we please stop treating these dragons as props and tools, and instead see them as the intelligent creatures they are? The bond between dragon and rider is not just the relationship between a master and a pet. It is a deep psychological connection that affects both rider and dragon. Yet this show treats them as disposable. Vermithor literally leaves Hugh behind and flies away this episode. Where are you going? First you give Seasmoke a new rider, despite not confirming Laenor is dead, which he has to be if Seasmoke has a new rider, because you are afraid to kill a gay man, and now this, and Vhagar leaving Aemond, who, by the way, does not return at the end of this season. She has done nothing this entire season. Oh, but don't you know? It's really hard to make dragons behave the way you want, which is why this show, that was sold on the idea of dragons, barely has any dragons in it. Oh, is it too expensive? Tough luck, my friend. You made your bed, you shit in it, now you have to lie in it. So Silverwing burns everyone to the ground, even Ormond, but not before he is stabbed by Roddy the Ruin, the biggest disappointment in this whole show. He has done nothing but make quips the whole season, has 5 minutes of screaming and shouting, and then he dies. Where was his character? The only reason people like him is because he's played by a famous actor. But if you like Tommy Flanagan, I can't imagine you'll be satisfied with his portrayal. Tell me one thing about this man, except that he's a Viking wannabe, worthy of Euron Greyjoy in seasons 6 to 8. And why are the Northmen so fucking batshit crazy in this show? They proudly wear the Stark banners, not the Umbers, the Glovers, or the Manderleys. You have explicitly shown us that these are Stark men. Starks have always been honourable, even before Ned. Are you telling me they allow these child-killing cravens into their employ? Ones who will willingly execute an envoy under peace? Oh yeah, I just remembered. That scene. Gwaine has quickly rose through the ranks of my favourite characters. He is an honourable man amongst monsters who shows respect even to a man whose values don't align with his. I don't know what they thought making him want to abandon Daeron, basically his son, in the hands of someone he knows to be a madman, despite the boys pleading to stay and help because
my face is tired.
But other than that, he has been shown as a competent knight. So what the hell was this scene? He just takes Corlys, a high-value prisoner, somehow smuggles him past all of Ormond's guards, and escorts him outside the city. Alone. With only a thinly veiled threat that he might kill Corlys, knowing full well that Daemon is out there. They have archers, and now you are surrounded by the enemy while handing over your only bargaining chip to them on a silver platter. How is Gwaine this stupid? How is Daeron okay with this? Does he hate his uncle for that time he left him because his face was tired? Did he just want Gwaine to do something apart from walking around Westeros all season? Did he read the script? Speaking of reading the script, Rhaenyra finally sends away the White Worm, which was a long time coming, but why? Rhaenyra has shown nothing but lenience to this slippery snake all season, and now she sends her away? Was the sex scene last episode just for Emma D'Arcy's sake? Also, by the gods, why do you still keep this character around? She has done nothing interesting the whole season. She just keeps failing upwards and is rewarded for her dumb decisions by the writers. Gets away with treachery to Rhaenyra, and only hasn't been killed by Daemon because the writers haven't allowed him to. He should have cut off her head a season ago. Why have you trusted her for so long, Rhaenyra? And why have you suddenly decided not to trust her, but not kill this woman who has every possible secret to use against you? She should be long dead. Why do you persist, woman? Speaking of women, how about the one they killed in this episode? Helena was never the most interesting character, but I grew to really like her this season in particular. They stopped treating her as a quirky tool, and showed us there was an actual character behind her unique exterior. I felt bad for her, as did a lot of people in the audience. Not as bad as I felt watching her death scene, though. Oh wait, scratch that, I didn't watch her death scene because there wasn't one. They killed her off-screen. This could have been a tragic Shakespearean-level scene where she makes the choice to end her life instead of persisting in this cruel world. You couldn't even give her that. Did she even have one scene with Dreamfire this whole show that wasn't a dream sequence? One which mainly serves to set up the White Walkers, which they continue to bait us with, despite knowing how they fucked them in Season 8. It's over. You ruined it. And the books are never getting finished, so you won't see that ending either. Why are you stripping us? Why are you stringing us along on a false hope? A Dance of Dragons came out in 2011, when Game of Thrones Season 1 premiered. It's been 15 years since then, and Winds of Winter still hasn't come out. It's never coming out, guys. Get over it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching me rant this long. If you did enjoy it, please consider liking the video. This was just a quick video I made to vent some unsaid feelings I had. My next video I plan to release is a more structured review of Mufasa, which will hopefully come out as soon as the YouTube copyright system stops holding the video hostage. If you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification button to be informed when it comes out. Thank you, and so long.